A Home Depot in Pensacola is being identified as 18-year-old Brooklyn Sims. We have a copy of the arrest report, and as WKRG News 5's Alexa Daly tells you, it says the victim and the man now charged with murder used to be a couple.
According to an arrest report, 20-year-old Keith Agee was seen walking down aisle 52 in the Home Depot on Davis Highway Friday. Witnesses say that's when Agee exchanged words with a contract worker at the store. The report says he then shot and killed her. Family members Monday identifying the victim as 18-year-old Brooklyn Sims.
We're still looking at the motive, trying to figure out exactly why he did this, certainly why he did this on that date in such a public area. But there was a past relationship, so it is considered to be domestic violence.
And thanks. This morning, Pasadena police are looking for whoever brutally murdered an 11-year-old girl.
Yeah, it happened Saturday at the apartment complex where the girl lived with her father. Stephanie Whitfield is following this story for us this morning. Stephanie, what do police know about the suspect?
Well, police say the girl's dad left for work at around 9:30 Saturday morning. 30 minutes later, we're told the girl texted her dad saying someone was at the door. He said not to answer, and that was the last time anyone heard from her. Now, I do want to warn you, some of the details about this story are hard to hear. The girl's dad tells us he called family members to check on her when she stopped replying to calls and texts. They went by and said the door was unlocked, but Maria Elena Gonzalez wasn't inside. It wasn't until he came home from work, we're told, he found his daughter under the bed, wrapped in a trash bag and stuffed in a laundry hamper. Police say she was beaten and sexually assaulted.
Triple shooting in Southwest Philadelphia. A woman was killed while another woman and a teenager were injured, and police are still trying to piece together how everyone knew each other and what led up to the deadly gunfire. Action News reporter Corey Davis is live at police headquarters with the latest on this investigation.
Tam, good morning. So we're being told that police believe the three victims, who include two women and a teenager, were all together. Police believe that those victims got into an argument with a man who possibly ended up shooting them. I want to give you a look there at some video. Police there taking someone into custody there. Action News right there as that investigation was unfolding. We're being told the shooting happened at around 5:15 p.m. yesterday along the 6200 block of Glenmore Avenue in Southwest Philadelphia. Police say they initially found two women with gunshot wounds, a 27-year-old who was shot in the leg and a 38-year-old who was shot in the head. That victim was initially rushed to the hospital in extremely critical condition, but we're now learning that she has died from her injuries. Police say another shooting victim related to the incident was found down the street along the 6100 block of Elmwood Avenue. That victim is a 15-year-old boy who police say was shot in the arm. Here's more from investigators about how they think this all played out.
Possibly have been an argument. We do have one male in custody.
We start tonight with this story of one woman who's dead. A man is in critical condition after gun violence on the south side of Indianapolis.
Metro Police now trying to figure out what led to the shooting just before 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Our Karen Campbell's been looking into what happened over the last 4 hours since, and now shares how the community there also is reacting.
This is a community here in Laurelwood that's been impacted by gun violence. Emotions and tensions are understandably high now for one family and for the people who live here. Oh my God. A shooting on the south side of Indianapolis has those who live here asking why. Metro Police say it happened around 12:30 Tuesday afternoon on Salisbury Lane. The focus of their investigation centers around this unit.
When officers arrived, they located an adult male outside this location suffering from injuries consistent with a gunshot wound or wounds.
IMPD officer Simone Burris says that man was taken to a hospital in critical condition. Officers then found a woman inside the home. Investigators say she was likely shot.
IMS and IFD responded, and unfortunately, they pronounced that female victim deceased here at the scene.
A scene many neighbors gathered, watching everything unfold. Some offering their support to each other through shock, sadness, and frustration.
It is not
frightening incident on Long Island.
Nassau County Police in North Belmore took action when a person was seen firing a gun in the air and waving it around in broad daylight. As CBS 2's Doug Williams explains, police used an unusual tactic to end the threat.
In the middle of an intersection and the middle of the afternoon, video shows Nassau police disarming a suspect with a police vehicle in North Belmore on Tuesday. We've paused the video before the moment of impact.
We learned in training that you're going to use any method necessary to stop the threat.
Police responded after they say the gun had been fired into the air and was being waved around at pedestrians. Police say the person with the gun sustained minor injuries and has been identified as Kibber Calderon, who they say also goes by Hannah Carrillo. Charges include criminal possession of a firearm and reckless endangerment, among others.
We don't train robots. We train human beings. And in this case, it was somewhat ingenious that this police officer took the action that he took.
That officer made a choice to use his vehicle. He holstered his weapon after having it out. And I asked him at the hospital why. He said, because if I fired and I missed, there were people standing behind him.
Pedro, Sandy, we briefly talked to one relative who was visibly distraught. We also saw some other family members who understandably did not want to talk to us on camera. They're deeply saddened after what happened over yesterday and then into today. Now, we do want to warn you that the video that we've obtained is disturbing to watch. Gunfire on the putting green at Sierra Lakes Golf Club in Fontana. A man appears to reach for a weapon when Fontana police opened fire on 45-year-old Alejandro Diaz, who later died at a hospital. Authorities confirmed Diaz was a deputy with the LA County Sheriff's Department and was off duty at the time of the violent confrontation with officers. In the moments leading up, neighbors say the man was at his home around the corner on Colonial Drive when they heard yelling.
Well, I seen what appeared to be a male intoxicated, and his family members were trying to restrain him and pull him back into the garage. They jumped on him and he fell. And then I thought I heard keys hit the ground, but it wasn't keys, it was a gun.
Authorities have not confirmed whether alcohol was involved. Police tell us that at around 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, a 911 caller reported that her husband had fired a gun at a wall inside their home before leaving with the weapon. Minutes later, more 911 callers report a man with a gun on the golf course. We saw several distraught family members going in and out of the home, including this close relative.
Yo estoy muy mal porque mataron al papá de mis nietos.
Who says she's upset after they killed the father of her grandkids. Neighbors still shocked about the deadly turn of events.
That are now charged in that kidnapping. 3 of them appeared before a judge today. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Deborah Cho. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffmonte joined us live from the Orange County Sheriff's Office tonight. And Stephanie, the details of this case are very disturbing.
Deborah, they truly are disturbing. The report describes how the woman was beaten and terrorized as she was locked in that dog cage. She managed to escape. This all happened behind a home in Pine Hills, so she started running around the neighborhood, knocking on doors and windows, begging for someone to help her. That's the knock Tony Stanislaus heard on his back window. His girlfriend saw a woman outside.
But when we came out here, there was no sign that anyone ever was back here.
But he later learned from deputies the knock was from a woman who had escaped a kidnapping just a few houses away from his Pine Hills home. You're under the impression that she had to have jumped this fence here.
Correct.
That's
yes.
a pretty big fence.
When you're trying to run for your life, you're trying to save your life, you will do whatever you need to do.
According to the arrest affidavit, the suspects abducted the woman. Her kidnappers duct taped her hands, feet, and her mouth, and then put her in a dog cage inside the shed behind the house near Barnett Place and Esmeralda Drive.
The fact that a human being was treated as, an animal, especially in this heat, like a movie, Lifetime. It sounds like one of those movies that someone wrote a script for, but this is real life.
This is some breaking news this morning. A teenager is dead and 9 others hurt in a crash in Milwaukee. It happened just before 11:30 last night near 68th and Silver Spring. Milwaukee police say it started as a chase involving a stolen vehicle. 12 News' Madison Moore joins us live at the scene this morning. And Madison, we've learned overnight that most of the victims are teenagers, and you've actually gotten closer to the scene since our last update.
Jaron, that is right. The Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office website says that it was a 17-year-old boy that died in this crash. Now, we are closer to the debris here from this crash. You can see that there is a door on the side of the road here on West Silver Spring Drive. There's even a windshield just above here. And then if we go right across the street to the median, there is a pile of car debris and a light pole that was actually hit during this crash. You can see it laying down there in the median. Now, Milwaukee police say the person that died was in a stolen vehicle with 7 other people at the time of the collision. You can see in video from overnight that our 12 News cameras captured how small these 2 sedans were involved in the crash. One of those cars holding 8 people. The airbags of one car all deployed, and there was debris scattered across the street, as you just saw here this morning. Now, Milwaukee police say officers tried to pull over the stolen vehicle on West Hampton Avenue. The car wanted in connection to a recent armed robbery. But when the driver didn't stop, a chase began, the stolen vehicle crashing into another car here at the intersection of 68th and West Silver Spring Drive. Milwaukee police say all 8 people in the stolen vehicle were injured, including a 15-year-old boy, 16-year-old boy, 2 17-year-old boys, an 18-year-old woman, and 2 unknown women. The 8th person, a 17-year-old boy, according to the medical examiner, died at the scene. Milwaukee police do say that a 25-year-old woman and a 42-year-old woman in the other car, they were also injured during this crash.
Shot dead in less than 24 hours in Milwaukee. The latest, a 16-year-old boy at 87th and Silver Spring around 10:30 this morning. 12 News' Hannah Hilliard is following that investigation from Police District 4 tonight. Hannah, that's not too far from where the shooting occurred in broad daylight this morning.
Patrick, the shooting occurred around 10:40 this morning. Officers here at Police District 4 responding to that double shooting that happened just about a mile west of where we are right now here along Silver Spring Drive. Police say a 16-year-old boy was killed, and that boy, they say, was attempting to rob a group of people at the time.
Shooting with multiple victims at 87 and Silver Spring, 87 and Silver Spring.
So now Milwaukee police say as the armed teen attempted the robbery, one of the robbery victims was armed as well and opened fire, killing the suspect. An 18-year-old robbery victim was also injured during that shooting. Now, this comes less than 24 hours after a 15-year-old boy was killed near 53rd and Center. This afternoon, 12 News spoke with Milwaukee's mayor about the youth gun violence we're seeing in the city.
There are so many guns that are out there. And we've got to work to make sure that people who should not have guns, including teenagers, don't have their hands on them.
Someone shot and killed a 15-year-old boy near a bus stop at 53rd and Center. It happened around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. Police have not said what may have led up to the shooting. Police are still looking for the shooter.